Good evening and welcome to Endless Space. My name is Robert and I'll be your host for a newbie amoeba playthrough. Some reasons for the newbie difficulty is that I've never played this game and don't have much knowledge of it. As with my Gal Civ playthrough, I'll be showing as much of the gameplay as I can so that you, the audience, learn as well as I do. Let's get to it, shall we? In contrast with my Galciv commentary, I've decided to go with a huge size galaxy, Spiral 8, with 8 empires and the age as normal. The age shows that if you use a young age, the stars are younger and hotter, which also means that the planets are not as developed. And older ones have colder stars and the planets are older. So, in contrast, the younger ones would have a lot of molten planets, while the older one would have a lot more rocky planets. Now, the amoeba, let's just show off some of these, we'll show all of them off. Uh, their home planet is an ocean because they are basically an ocean aquatic being. Eerie creatures from a swampy planet, these diplomats have an uncanny ability to understand their opponents. Diplomatic alignment is good. Gameplay usually is exploration and diplomacy. Main victory type is diplomatic and military. A highly form of a lowly species, these colorful beings come from an ocean world, evolving slowly over millions of years, with plenty of time to philosophize. Philosophize, yeah. It is not surprising that the amoeba are diplomatic, cultural, and intellectual. Wise and urbane, they have an exceptionally high emotional intelligence and are unusually open to other alien intelligent species. Their goal is to travel, meet, and learn through their relatively defenseless nature. Form has bred into them the need to turn all situations to their advantage and to be in control of their destiny. Though the amoeba do not feel that their nature is to dominate and conquer, they can be viewed as warriors whose weapons are diplomacy and trade. The amoeba have soil xenobiology, which has studies of soil samples from other planets plus advances in understanding of extramorphic bacteria permits scientists to create, under certain circumstances, hardier and more productive plants, crops, same thing. Diplomatics give 50% trade routes bonuses on system, increases duration of positive diplomatic factors, and decreases duration of negative ones. Symbiosis, 30% trade route bonuses per corporation treaty on system, increases bonuses for corporation treaties. Native, +4 per faction at peace or allied with on system, increases approval in system for each faction that is allied or at peace. When I'm saying per system or on system, that means a solar system. I'll be showing that actually in the game. I've played for about 5 minutes on normal difficulty and got my ass kicked. So that's why I'm on newbie level. I actually want to show off the game. I don't want to lose very quickly. So I'll be showing what it means when it says on system or on planet. There is definitely a difference. Masters of Illusion, 40% ship cost for ships without weapon module on Empire. Mutual Understanding is plus 10% max and min damage on fleet weapons with number of allies. So if we have 5 allies in this game, our weapons would be doing 50% more damage, which is quite amazing actually. And Rich Soil, plus 3 plant on planets. The soil of the planet is rich with bacteria and nutrients, crops will grow well, and livestock will be healthy. This, I believe, is only on our home planet that I've noticed the rich soil on. But let's see what some of the other civilizations have. The United Empire Affinity is 25% to 100% tax rate will give a 0 to 60% industry bonus, plus 10 ship XP on building on Empire. Provides a basic set of faction traits similar to the United Empire: economic, military, industrial, and exploration. N-way fusion plants. Really, some of these I have no idea what they mean really, and I just kind of hope that eventually they'll actually tell you. Previously, through a practical impossibility, recent advances in shielding technology prevent more than two bodies to be involved in a fusion reaction. This opens up the door to enormous leaps in energy generation. Businessmen effect plus 10 coins, or dust as it's called, on system, generates additional dust per system. Entrepreneurs plus 1 dust per person on planet, generates additional dust per population on each planet. Okay, that basically is saying exactly what it says. Oh, whatever. Strong alloys affects plus 40% health on ships, gives additional ship HP. Okay, yeah. Fearless warriors affect plus 25 defense per person on system. Belief in their cause gives the faction a particular zeal when they are defending on the ground. And they are dust impaired. Plus 50% ability dust cost on hero. Basically, the humans, aren't very, like, they don't use dust a lot in let's see here, with themselves. Like, if somebody were to use dust on themselves, they gain like special crazy little mystic powers. Well, these people don't do that because they believe dust isn't actually a good thing, which, well, you can kind of say it isn't at some points. But that's why they're dust impaired, because they just don't use it, so it costs more. The empire is theoretically under the control of a central monarchy. However, the rate of expansion means that the society cannot be ruled that way effectively. In fact, the systems of the coronal Desperia are colonized by designated corporations who work hand in hand with the Ministry of Investment and Development. The Ministry of Security is involved as well due to the need for native and or alien pacification, security forces, defense, and surveillance. Their home type is Terran, of course. Their diplomatic alignment is evil. Their gameplay is a colonist, and their main victory type is economic and military. The Sophins are basically, if you think little tiny gray men, these guys I think are basically that, I believe. Sophin Affinity affects 0% to 50% tax rate, will give a 50 to 0% science bonus. 50% support modules cost on Empire, provides a basic set of faction traits similar to the Siphons. Okay. Isolation shields. Through difficult to apply outside a laboratory context, first steps are made in isolating objects from their effect on quantum and gravitational forces. PEV scale accelerators. The construction of a high energy particle accelerator with energy measured in peta-electron volts, okay, requires highly advanced engineering, science, materials, and energy supplies. Without this type of machine, explorations deeper into subquantum mechanics would not be possible. Neural robotics. One problem with coordinating robots and having them efficiently function is their brains and the associated networking. Advances in signal technology and computing algorithms now allow us to have vast numbers of robots that communicate and execute functions in seamless coordination. Scientists give 30% science on system, generates additional science per system. Yeah, the Sophons definitely are the scientists in this game. Fast travelers, +2 movement on ships, gives a movement bonus on ship speed. Meticulous analysis, +1. I have no idea what that is on ships. Increases the radius of detecting other ships per each additional fleet. Oh, okay. Radius of sonar or something along those lines. Feeble warriors, +25% defense on system, or -25, and -8 defense per person on system. A dislike for melee combat weakens ground defenses. And unskilled builders, +10% industry cost on improvements on Empire. Receives an industry penalty for system improvements, planetary improvements, and wonders. Wow, okay. The Hyso are basically like bird-like things. Let's see here. Busido, +5% weapon damage on all fleets for each space battle 1 for 45 turns, +15% vid on all systems for each invasion victory for 45 turns. These bonuses can be cumulative. Ooh, I didn't want to do that. Okay, it's good. Yeah, okay. Basically, this shows that the more they attack and they win, the more powerful they get, which is kind of scary actually. Isotope fabrication. High isotope materials are prized for both their material capabilities and their energy content. Manufacturing them in large quantities is key to making them economically viable. Basically, a little tidbit of information I know of is that human beings actually can create gold. It's just like, doesn't really show anything about isotopes, but they can build gold. They can actually make it from other materials and actually make, like, they actually add more or less neutrons, protons, all that, and they get it. The problem is that when you think of needing gold for medical or machines or something, you're talking about grams, pounds, kilos of this stuff. While what they can make is 1 atom of gold per process. So they can make maybe 8, 9 like proton like atoms of gold, but yet it takes so much power that it's basically useless. These people can actually do it on a viable scale, which is light years ahead of human population right now. It's quite amazing actually. Huygens rings, +1 dust, +2 science on planet. A rich multicolored band of asteroids surrounds this planet, reflecting the star's light in green, gray, purple, white, and blue. They're a highly prized tourist destination as well as ready source of minerals and alloys. That would be on their home planet, I believe. Revenge. After losing a system, +50% MP on all fleets when invading for 20 turns, +50% ground defense on all systems for 20 turns. Relentless fighters who refuse to admit defeat. When their faction loses a system, they gain a temporary bonus on ground actions, defense, and invasion. Snipers, +15% accuracy on fleet weapons, gives an accuracy bonus on all weapons. Lovely. These guys really could do a lot of damage if they have even a halfway decent fleet. They just have to keep on fighting and they just keep on getting better. Deadly weapons, +36% damage max and min on fleet weapons. Oh, dang. Masters of Destruction, -50% weapon module cost on Empire. Weapon mods are less expensive. Wow. Death before dishonor. The hero will be injured if you use the retreat battle action. 40% XP bonus for each battle on hero. Increases XP learned from battles. If player retreats, the hero will be injured. but Space Cadets. Effects minus 20% science on systems. Okay. The Hiso are a modern and civilized people descending from avian DNA. However, they are avian in the way that many species of dinosaur had avian characteristics. In fact, they are not unlike feathered pterodactyls. The race of highly competitive tribal warriors. Their history is one of bloodshed, conquest, vengeance, and domination. While this has created a very hardy, aggressive, and dangerous people, it has also slowed their advancement and limited their numbers. When they did reach the stars to find other people waiting for them, their reaction was to conquer and dominate. Their innate and learned sense of flight makes them superior pilots. Gameplay conquest is glory. Main victory type is military and population. Now, the automatons are actually a new group that's been added on a patch for the game. It was actually I believe, a player, like a new random faction kind of thing that they created that the creators of the game thought were just so nice that they decided we'll add them on, which is kind of cool. So automaton's affinity is +1 overpopulation to stack factor on systems and +5% interests for stacked industry on system. Okay. Spend thrifts, -10% dust on system, less dust per system. Okay. Merchants, +1 trade route cap on system. Hell gourds, +3 food on planet, and -25 approval on planet. An unfortunate side effect of Tan Ibu's horticultural tampering, these large carnivorous orange plants will aggressively defend their territory. While they are potentially dangerous, they also have delicious fruit that can be used to make a wide variety of excellent candies. There are 2 risks when colonizing this planet: then aggressive foliage and tooth decay. Oh my god. Optimistic, +20% approval on system. Okay. Crowded planets allow a increased population to small, tiny, and medium planets. Diplomats, +50% trade routes bonuses on system. Okay. Anarchists, -2 command points cap on empire, starts with a lack of command points. Strong allies, +20% health on ships. Symbiosis, 30% trade route bonuses per corporation treaty on system. Dust impaired, +50% ability cost on heroes. And fearless warriors, +25 defense per person on system. Belief in their cause gives the faction a particular zeal when defending on the ground. They're from the jungle. Their diplomatic alignment is good. Gameplay variety is peaceful and isolationists. Main victory type, economic and diplomatic. That's a lot of work. Okay. Iron and steel, blood and flesh. The automatons were created by a long dead civilization known as the Rylans, who perished many millennia ago due to uncontrolled industrial, and that caused irreversible damage to the ecosystem and atmosphere of their planet. The Raylans decided to leave a legacy in the form of one of the greatest technological advancements: highly sophisticated clockwork beings. Within a year of their creation of the Clockwork Men, the Raylans committed mass suicide so as not to suffer through the effects of a dying planet. They left the automatons, their greatest creation, alone and lost on the planet. The Clockwork creations of the Raylans developed a simple society on their own, until one day a large endless ship crashed onto the planet and spread dust across its surface. The dust modified the machines, enhancing their abilities and over time even giving them sentience. In only a few weeks, the clockwork machines had evolved, gaining a new purpose in their existence. They came to call themselves the automatons, and with the newly gained freedom of dust, they began learning and advancing. The the automation civilization remained on their planet, learning to live in a symbiotic relationship with nature as the planet healed. They used the knowledge of their creators and their new engines to produce massive floating ships on which they lived, thus protecting the recovering ecosystem of their planet. Over the course of centuries, the planet healed and the automatons learned to live with and love nature while developing advanced industrial capability and production within the hulls of their floating ships, which had also grown over time. Calculating that the dust supply would run out and their civilization would die, the automatons excavated the ruins of the endless ship and began developing their own vehicles for space flight. The Carvers, or Cravers. From what I can tell, these guys just like to fight and eat and kill. The Craver's affinity: +1 locus point per turn on each colonized planet. 25% FIDS on the first 40 LP. 25% minus after 60. Basically means that for the first 40 turns on any planet, they gain 25% more of everything: food, industry, dust, and science. After 40, but before 60, it's the same. It's average, and then after 60, it's negative 25%, which basically means that they overeat the planet. They take everything, they strip mine it, and so the first couple turns it's great because there's just strip mining everything, but then after 60 turns they've strip mined it and there's nothing left. So there you go. Arid epigenetics: the ability to permanently apply grafted or genetically engineered traits into the DNA of succulent plants has great long-term advantages for simplifying colonization. Advanced machining: once heavier high-tech materials can be mass-produced, the next critical step is to be able to shape and adapt them as desired. This requires advanced robotics, computing, and a great deal of energy. Militarists: minus 25% ship cost on Empire, receives an industry bonus on ship construction. Knowledge gathering: plus 40 research points on the current research for each destroyed enemy CP on Empire. Adds research points to current research for each enemy command point destroyed. Nice. Big fleets: plus 2 command points cap on Empire. Okay. Crowded planets: medium, small, and tiny gain 1 population. And eternal war: can't be at peace with other factions. As I said, they like to eat, they like the war, they like to kill. Fun stuff. Their home planet is arid. Their diplomatic alignment is evil. Their gameplay is to consume worlds. And their main victory type, I think the only victory type they're able to win almost, is military. Created by the Endless from an insectoid life form, the Cravers are in the purest sense hunter-gatherers and would never have evolved on their own. The process is necessary to raise crops or domesticate animals. Their life cycle is based on consumption, and as such they are capable of digesting any form of plant or animal matter. Once their homeworld was consumed, they left to seek further nourishment. If they do not continue to expand, discover, and exploit new worlds, their society would literally eat itself to death. Feeding the hive is their all-consuming purpose. The notion of treaty, trade, and peace do not exist. Scary. Their Horatio. Unlocks the cloning of a hero. Plus 50% fatigue recovery on hero. Arid ecogenics, permanently applied grafted. Yeah, I already said that one. Soil xenobiology, same as the amoeba. Stellar guardians, plus 4 influence area on system, increases frontier size, detection radius per system. Cloning is plus 1 food per person on planet, gives a food bonus on planets with low food production. Crowded planets gives extra population on small, tiny, and medium. Heroic medicine, minus 50% healing cost on hero. And the price of beauty, plus 20% ship cost on empire. Okay. Their home planet is arid, diplomatic alignment is neutral, gameplay expand, main victory type is population and wonder. Increasingly wealthy and only slightly less deranged, Horatio was an empire trillionaire who left to discover his own star cluster. Finding a planet sprinkled with labs of ancient cloning technology left by the endless, the boredom soon drove Horatio to create a race of allies, servants and slaves who were every bit as gorgeous as the most beautiful person in the universe, Horatio. Once the planet was repopulated, Horatio the First was only to look up, regard the stars, and realize how much more beautiful they too would be if they were filled with Horatios. The rest, as they say, is history. Yeah, just look how creepy that guy is. The Sours, or the Sowers, or whatever. Minus 50 food on system, but 40% of industry value is also added to food. Okay, Xenobotany discovery of alien life forms and analysis of plants that survive in extreme environments come together in a new field that was has practical applications for colonization. Metallic waters, rich in deposits of copper, iron, zinc, and other materials, the lakes and geysers of the planet are stunning to behold. The high mineral content of the waters is also a boon to industrial development, as highly purified ores can be obtained through simple filtration. Plus 1 industry on planet, plus 10 approval on planet. Space cadets, minus 20% science on system, generates less science per system. Builders, minus 20% industrial cost on improvements on empire. Okay. Tolerant, colonizes all planets. 25% negative, FIDS until required tech is known. Permits colonization of all planet types with a FIDS penalty until required technology is known. From what I know of some people talking about this game, this one trait is extremely overpowered. If you don't destroy the swords in time, they basically just take over the entire galaxy. They are very, very fast at just colonizing like crazy. So, great. Dust recyclers, plus 10 dust for each destroyed enemy CP on Empire. Slow travels, minus 1 ship. And optimistic, plus 10 approval on system. Yeah, the tolerant approval, like just the effect of this should have a higher negative, I think, but oh well. Home planet type is tundra. Diplomatic alignment is neutral. Gameplay is construction. Main victory type is wonder or military. The Soars are a machine race created by the virtual faction of the Endless. They took form from their creators the mission to diverse the universe and make worlds livable and habitable for the arrival or return of the endless. The soars come, establish industries, create the basic industrial needed to make a wild planet habitable, and move on to the next one. The soars are neither hostile nor friendly. They are simply continuing their programming. Any world they arrive on will be harvested and advanced materials will be developed. Any local populations or other peoples will be ignored unless they get in the way or oppose the Soar's holy mission. Okay, the Pilgrims. Their affinity is ability to evacuate our star system. Okay. Xenobiology. Same as, let's see here, I think it was one of the other ones already had that one. Rebellion. 100% ownership gain per system on Empire. 80% ownership loss per system captured by opponent on Empire. Driven by their cause, as the faction increases the number of systems they have, they win over new ones more quickly. On the minus side, stealth can allow them to lose systems more quickly when they are driven back. Okay. Diplomats. 50% trade routes bonuses on system. Okay. Optimistic, plus 20 approval on system. Legendary heroes. Minus 4 upkeep on heroes, plus 20 hero XP on hiring on Empire. Increases experience level on newly higher level 1 heroes. Mutual understanding. Plus 10 max min damage per allies per fleet, like the amoeba. Knowledge gathering. Plus 20 research points on the current research for each destroyed enemy CP on Empire. Blockade breakers. Trade routes also work in Cold War or at war. Blockades on your systems won't break trade routes. Permits no penalty trade with factions even if they're at war. Wasted space. Due to important traditions and or ethic considerations, ships are designed less efficiently and have storage penalty. Okay. Home planet is a jungle. Diplomatic alignment is good. Gameplay, exploration, and diplomacy. Main victory type is the diplomatic and military. A group of scientists and explorers unhappy with the United Empire hijacked a mission to an outer planet and set up an independent government. They refused the heavy corporation hand of the Empire, preferring to eke out their living on the edge of known space. Aided by the Sophons, this splinter group grew to become the Pilgrims. Accustomed to orbital living and the constant movement, during the early years of their development, they had a proportionally greater contact and familiarity with artifacts and remnants left by the Endless. They have come to view the Endless in a religious light, and a goal of their society is to one day discover the planet from which the Endless originated. Cool. And the Sheridan. A loyal elite faction within the Imperial Navy, the Sheridan fleet has the right to display its traditional colors. I believe the Sheridan are also a player group that somebody made themselves, and then the game creators decided to add it into the actual game. So basically, it has the same the Empire affinity because it is actually part of the Empire. Yeah, basically they have the exact same. Yeah, they have the exact same thing as the United Empire. The homeworld planet is Terran, evil, colonist, economic, military, same as the Empire. It would require several centuries of time travel to find the origins of the military organization now known as the Sheridan Fleet. Originally a bodyguard of the time of the First Empires, over time the fleet grew to become commandos, special forces operatives, and finally a powerful clandestine force within the military of the United Empire. Almost cased within the Imperial Navy, admission into services of the Sheridan Fleet remains possible to all but the most qualified candidates. In a society where money means everything, the fleet remains its image of professionalism, with several lucrative contracts with approved emperors. It has grown to have an economic power almost equal to its military reputation. Cool. So, we're going to go as the amoeba. The advanced stuff is system balancing. I'm going to just have it on average, just in case, like, I might get a penalty, I might get a bonus, I don't know. Star connectivity, I've decided to keep it on normal so that an average of 3 cosmic strings connecting adjacent stars in a constellation. Wormholes, I've kept it on low. Planets per system, I have normal. Resources, normal. Galaxy density is medium. Number of constellations, I actually have it on few, which is actually the average. Constellation distance, I have on average. And planet size, I have bigger than average. Difficulty, I'm setting it on newbie, which is the enemy AI thinks the Megano line was a brilliant idea. I have no idea what that is, but okay. Easy, if this was Wellington, we'd all speak French. If the British had been like this, the US would still be a colony. Yeah, the normal is actually, if you don't know how to play this game, normal is actually very difficult. Hard, every bit as great as Alexander. Serious, so this is what it felt like to go up against Attila and Genghis Khan. Impossible. If this was Bowie, he might have won at the Alamo. And Alice, endless, you shall not pass. Yeah, stay with newbie. Game speed, I have normal. Advances, pirate difficulty, I don't have any pirates. Score victory, I don't have. Supremacy victory, I have. Which is, with armadas as powerful vessels and unbending will, through domination of stars, you can force both friends and enemies to accept you as uncontested ruler. You'll win this victory when you have invaded the starting systems of all other factions. Wonder victory, I don't have. Scientific, nope. Diplomatic victory, yes. By building alliances and friendships with other factions and empires, you become highly valued as a friend and simply too dangerous as an enemy. When you've accumulated enough diplomatic victory points in the great game of the galactic diplomacy, you became the dominant political force in the galaxy. Economic victory, nope. Expansion victory, yes. By consuming and colonizing a maximum of planets and systems, your empire can become an all-powerful through sheer weight of numbers. Once you control 3 times as many galaxy colonies as all other players combined, the galaxy is yours. Basically, the sowers could win this because they expand so quickly, but hopefully we're able to at least keep up with them. Hopefully. Random generation C, yep. End turn timer, no timer. End turn timer value, well, I have no timer, so that's fine. So, let's start adding people on here. I'm going to do the Sheridan instead of the United Empire, just because it is, I thought, why not add in something a little interesting, right? Now I could have the Sophons or the Cravers. I'm going to add the Cravers. So technically, the Sowers, the Sophons were the most scientific in the game, but I like being scientific, so I'm actually going to try to become a scientific powerhouse in this game and see how it goes. So, start game. Now, don't those ships just look like they're like part animal, part building? It's quite amazing, actually, the details. Quite like it. And it's just loading.
The oldest nation that we know of. The amoeba strive to live in harmony with nature, with each other, and even in space with their ships. They have been watching and listening to the stars for ages, hearing the words of the cosmos itself. For the belief of the amoeba is to represent all life and see that it lives in harmony everywhere in the galaxy.
Okay, so I am actually going to cut the recording after this little section here. The reason for that is that I've basically just shown off the beginning title screen and it's taking quite a lot of time. So this is going to be part 0 and part 1 will start after this. Welcome to a new game of Endless Space. The tutorial will guide you through a series of screens explaining the game mechanics. You're able to disable the tutorial below. This screen is an overview of Game Galaxy. Your home system is centered on the screen. Zoom in or out using the mouse wheel. Press the left mouse button and drag to move the view. The control banner at the top of the screen gives you access to different departments of your empire. Hovering over these icons displays status information. You conquer the galaxy by colonizing star systems. Each star system holds up to 6 diverse planets. The dots over the star name indicates the number and type of planets. Blue are already colonized. White are colonizable. Red planets cannot be colonized yet. Stars are connected by cosmic strings, natural links which allow fast travel. Others, more advanced means of traveling can be unlocked later. When an important event occurs, usually at the beginning of the turn, an icon appears. Clicking on the icon will open a detailed panel which you can either minimize or dismiss. Once you've completed all of your actions for the turn, press the end button. Okay, so this is Maze, which is my home planet. Very nice. And this is the galaxy which I will be playing on this game. So I have the automatons and the Hisho are closest to me. And here's the carvers over here, gravers. So I want to try to take out Enea and Talius as soon as possible, so as to kind of gain a foothold onto the other systems and then move out from there. Just look how big this place is, man. So anyway, that is the end for this part. It basically was just a beginning, just to show off the different areas. From now on, I will be actually getting into the meat of the game, doing the tutorial of course, and hope everything goes well. Have a great day and see you soon.